Well, welcome back, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, and this is Dark Souls, the 2016 review. Now, Dark Souls is a third-person action RPG released in 2011. Now, you play as a nameless undead who is destined for something special. I'm not going to spoil the story. There is a story, but it is told in a non-traditional way. A lot is left to the imagination and speculation. But there's a lot of lore to be found for those who are looking for it. Dark Souls is one of those games where story and gameplay is intertwined, so to speak. So let me explain. Now, the whole point of this game is to journey through the cursed land of Lordran, fighting monsters, lighting bonfires, dying, coming back to life, and doing it all again. It's this endless cycle that is also part of the story. Now, Dark Souls is one of the most atmospheric games I've ever played. You can almost taste the sense of dread and despair in this world. And it's not without beauty, with wide vistas and verticality that will make your stomach turn around. And the level design is just phenomenal. Inspired by medieval times with castles and crumbled forts, and the deeper you go, everything becomes stranger and even more toxic, with more and dangerous creatures. And all the areas are interconnected with one another, and the central hub, that is the Firelink Shrine, and there are a lot of shortcuts to be found as well. It's really a masterful level design philosophy that's behind this game. And there's hardly any sound or music in this game apart from your own footsteps and the rattling of your armor and the distant growls of unseen monsters. It's really unsettling. So less is sometimes more in this game. Now, all things in Dark Souls are out to kill you, apart from some NPCs you'll meet along the way who have their own little stories in this world and might sometimes turn against you also. Now, what about the gameplay? Now, you explore the level, you kill the enemies, you collect their so-called souls, you will find armors and weapons, and eventually you'll meet the level boss, and then you'll die, and you're gonna do it all again. Sounds like fun, right? It is easy to get discouraged by the whole thing. Why should I put myself through this masochistic endeavor? Is that fun? Is that fun to be kicked ass all the time? Well, at the beginning, I didn't think it was fun. I quit several times before deciding, well, you know, I'm going to push forward. I'm going to finish this game. And it all changed when I realized there are different objectives at play here. Now, first, you will explore. How long can you last without dying? You will learn the level, collect as many souls as you can, because souls can be used to level your character and upgrade your gear, which is pretty standard stuff, you know, RPG-like. But you decide if you want to rest at a bonfire and restock on life elixir, knowing that the enemies have respawn if you do that, or do you choose to push on with the risk of losing the souls you've collected? Now, if you die, the game offers a new challenge, because dying means that you lose the collected souls, but not the gear that you found. So the game does not set you back that much. So when you die, the objective is to get back to the place where you died, killing the respawn enemies in your way and collecting the souls that you've lost. If you succeed, you'll have a whole bunch of souls, and if you die before retrieving the old souls, well, they are pretty much lost. So it is not an unfair system, I think. It stimulates careful gameplay. Otherwise, it is also possible and rewarding to do a suicide run from a bonfire and just run to the loot that you want to have and just pick it up, and you might die, but you get to keep the loot. Now, at some point, you will realize that leveling and upgrading your character is not even that important. It's not game-changing. Important is how you learn to confront the enemies instead of hacking and slashing like in so many other games. In Dark Souls, most bigger enemies require a more intelligent approach. You need to learn their moves, you need to anticipate, which is not that hard to do if you pay attention. Now, the bosses are scary as hell, and they're amazingly designed. There are lots of them, and they're big and they're gross and they're ugly, and they can kill you in a few hits. So your first instinct usually is to run away as hard as you can, while instead it is better to confront your fears and fight up close and personal, which is usually rewarding. And that's really the point, because all of these bosses, they have weaknesses. They might be big but slow. They might have vulnerable parts on their bodies that you can easily exploit. And the sense of accomplishment when killing a boss and the rewarding shower of souls you will receive is just worth it. It is worth the hassle of doing it. And people say that Dark Souls is a hard game to play, but it's essentially it's not. It's more like a rhythm game. You just have to dance the dance, and you will be okay. So a lot of trial and error, and you'll learn the levels. You'll learn the enemy placement, the boss locations, the shortcuts, and the moves of the boss. But is it all that good in this game? No, it's not. There is some repetition in bosses. Some bosses are variations or reskins of bosses you've met before, and some of the enemy placement just makes no sense. Like this big monster in this tiny room, it just doesn't feel right. It's not part of the, I don't know, this is not well designed, I think. Now, the game was made for consoles, let's be honest about that, because with mouse and keyboard this game is just unplayable. So PC gamers are left in the cold here. You need a controller. So if you want to play this game on PC, buy a controller. Also, the inventory, the HUD is so cluttery. It's crazy, with an endless list of stuff to browse, of the stuff you've collected along the way, and it's just not fun. And just finding the right item you want to wear is just a chore, and you can be attacked while you're doing that, which I don't mind, because it's all part of this, you know, you have to pay attention, you have to be quick about it. But I mean, they have to make sure that the inventory system is just easy to browse, but it's not. Now, the camera does not always register the action well. Sometimes a boss will just fill up your screen and you don't know where you are and you'll die. And also the targeting system is just awful when fighting multiple enemies. It will lock onto an enemy you don't want to fight at first. So sometimes it's better just not to lock on to certain enemies. The game also has a confidence system, so you can join certain factions, but all these factions are really ill-explained. It's never explained what they represent, what the benefits are for joining, what you have to do to get those benefits. It's just unfortunate. Now, I'm all for the mystery. I'm all for not telling the story, not just shoving it through your throat, but this is a gameplay mechanic. These confidence are maybe essential for certain things you want to achieve in this game, and it's just not explained. It's crazy. Now, what about online? Well, online is a blast. I've had so much fun dueling other people. If you can find some good people, some friendly people to play with, it's really amazing. Dueling is just so much fun. And also, I almost forgot the co-op. The co-op killing monsters is just freaking awesome. It's amazing. If you're at this boss and you've tried several times, you can ask for help, and together you can beat the boss, and it's sometimes it feels like cheating, but it's part of the game. It's a gameplay mechanic to call in the help of other players, and so it doesn't. It's not a bad thing to do that. So if you need help, you can ask for it, and people will help. Now back to the dueling. It's amazing. I love dueling with other people. I mean friendly people, because there are a lot of people that are sort of just cheaters, and I don't know, they just want to kill you. But what is unforgivable now that the game has been out for 5 years is that the online still does not work properly, technically speaking, right? There are a lot of connectivity issues. The netcode is bad, I think, and for God's sake, you need a mod. You need a mod to play the online properly, and that's just unforgivable. It's crazy, because it is so much fun to play this online, and it's so hard to get online with this game. But all things aside, Dark Souls is still one of the most unique experiences I ever had in gaming. It is not a faultless masterpiece that some people think it is, but it's definitely a classic that will put its hooks into you and will not let you go until you've finished it. I've spent 80 hours playing this game. I'm not even finished it yet, because there's so much to look for, to find, to fight. It's just, and coming back to it is just an amazing experience. So this one, it comes highly recommended. And I'm ending this video with an epic battle between me and Urkexi, if I'm pronouncing this right. I don't know. He's been helping me out a lot with the multiplayer, the co-op, as well as dueling with me in these little battles, as you can see right here. This one is particularly interesting because I thought I had him. I'm the guy in red. I'm the red guy, and he's the other one. And, well, he won. And, yeah. Big shout out to him.